What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jobbers and Goons, and today I got blitzed by the like goal again. You guys already got the last roll swap series video past 300. Despite me raising it from 200 to 300, you already crashed that. So we're going to bring a pretty interesting one today. One I personally think is super fun to talk about. What if Darth Vader from both canon and legends swapped battles with Madara Uchiha from Naruto? Real quick before we get started, run the likes up. Let's get this to 300 likes if you want to see another roll swap series video, as well as subscribe if you have not already. Turn notifications on. I try to drop content daily, and I definitely post at least on the community tab daily. Also, join my Discord. We do games, prizes, giveaways, and more. Also D&Ds. As well as, if you want to see your favorite content on this channel, or perhaps you want to see two characters swap in this series, hit me up to talk purchases. I currently have video deals and scan server deals. Now, getting back into this, I picked 10 battles for each of them to go through. I split it up into two things. One, breezes / warm-up battles. If it's something not too crazy for them, it's in this category. If it's a little harder, mid to high difficulty, or potential battle that they lose, it will be listed under tough battles or hard battles and potential losses. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into it. First up, let's go over Madara. Of these 10 battles, we're going to review how he does. Uchiha. By the way, for people that might ask why I did this instead of Obito, you can do both for Vader. I kind of went with this because Madara is kind of the big bad of the series until he's not with Kage. Same with Vader until Sidious. So that's kind of why I picked him, just FYI. But getting into this, Madara for the breezes, let's start off with that. First would be the Rebel Army. The reference to this battle is the iconic moment in which Vader was surrounded by that army. They told him to surrender, and he said, "All I'm surrounded by is fear and dead men." Proceeded to fold them all. If Madara was in that same situation, I 100% see him rolling through that army. Similar to how dirty he did the Shinobi Alliance when he rolled through them, I feel he would do the same in this instance. Next, we have the Zillo Beast. Despite its dominance, its place in the galaxy as one of the most formidable creatures to exist, the Zillo Beast, at least in my opinion, is not something Madara would have an issue dealing with. He could seal it away. He could hit it with multiple jutsus, possibly mind hacks it with genjutsu. There's a lot of ways in which Madara has win cons for the Zillo Beast. It's just stylistically and matchup wise, he's a terrible matchup for the Beast. Next, we have Cal Kestis from the Jedi Survivor games. This man didn't even get a health or action real bar against Vader first time they met. I'm sorry. That kind of energy just isn't enough for Madara. While he's a dope character, has pretty cool moves like Force Slow, that doesn't work on higher tiers like Vader. And besides, I don't feel like he has the experience, or I don't think he's dominant enough, or powerful enough, or versatile enough to be a real threat to Madara. Next, we have Chewbacca. Despite my love for Chewbacca, you guys know he's the GOAT. Make sure to go check out all of my Chewbacca content. Chewie is a character that, to me, despite his greatness, hell, he's even brawled up close with Vader before, he is stylistically just not much of a threat to Madara. Not going to be able to get close enough. His blaster won't do enough damage to take down Madara or do any serious enough damage to him. It's just he doesn't have much win cons at all to do anything. And so he probably gets wiped. Next is Kenobi from Kenobi. Now, pretty much all the early moments for Kenobi, he gets wiped. Now, the time he turns up against Vader, yes, he was strong enough to go with that early Vader, even put him down at one point, blitz him with rocks, hit him with rocks, all that shit. This style, the way this Kenobi was fighting, it's not gonna be good going against Madara. Like, that out of control, frantic, trying to bully ball, that's not typically how Kenobi does. and that's not the best way for him to go about fighting someone like Madara. I actually see Madara taking down this version of Kenobi. And then finally for the breezes, we have Luke Skywalker from Empire Strikes Back. On top of being a fresh Jedi, although one with a lot of potential and already a pretty decent duelist, this Empire Strikes Back version was a very conceited version of Luke. He thought he could just run down on Vader and beat him up. He thought that was an option in the fucking game. He was not built for that and got humbled. This would be the same exact way it goes down with Madara. I see him getting put down pretty easily. Now let's move on to battles and potential losses. First up, we have Darth Sidious himself. I see this being a potential loss. Even if you pick the different forms of Madara, the stronger ones, the one that controls the tailed beast, the Edo version, all that, double Rinnegan, it doesn't matter. Like, Sidious, especially that we're considering legends, he has too many feats. I mean, his laugh can shake apart stars. He's contended with someone who caught a being whose literal laugh shook asteroid belts out of its belt and threw it across like the star system, like crazy shit like that. He has all these feats. He's too strong, too versatile, too rooted in the dark side, with also crazy win cons like Force Storm. Although you could argue you wouldn't use that version of Sidious if you just use like up through Return of the Jedi or whatever. He still has things like his overwhelming mind hacks, presence hacks, fear hacks, things like that that technically Madara wouldn't have an answer to. I think Sidious takes him out. Next, we have Darth Maul clone. Now, this was a clone created by Mystic Knight Sisters. Basically wanted to create someone who could prove if this young new suit Vader was worthy of apprenticeship. This Vader was kind of shook when he saw this Darth Maul pulling up, and Maul gave him a really good fight. Actually had him on death's door at one point, but made a mistake. Vader made him pay for it and took him down. While this Maul is certainly powerful, very confident, very intelligent, duels just like the original one with his lightsaber staff, I think he'd make it a dope fight, and I think he'd give Madara initially a pretty good run, but I still see Madara taking it mid to high difficulty. I don't think Maul has enough to put down Madara. Next we have, he could maybe beat him up for some time, but put him down, I don't think so. Next we have Luke Skywalker, Return of the Jedi. This is an interesting one. This Luke was much more capable and humbled in the Force and dueling than compared to Empire Strikes Back. He was able to go toe-to-toe with Vader, dueling pretty evenly with him, and then when he became infuriated, he was able to actually take him down, and he also naturally resisted the lightning for a bit of Sidious. This is a very dangerous Luke, incredibly fast, dare I say, probably faster, especially when raging or channeling both sides of the Force, than even the Maul clone. He's dangerous, but again, kind of like the Maul clone doesn't have really a win con, this Luke doesn't really either. Sure, he can throw hands for a bit, make it a fun fight, make it pretty cool. Doesn't have a deep enough bag or any real win cons in this situation, so I have Madara taking it mid to high diff. Lastly, we have Starkiller, which is again another potential loss. Starkiller having taken down Jedi Master Shaak Ti while battling the whole planet that was going against him, Felucia, and taking down waves and waves of enemy and powerful foes that would, quite frankly, in that situation, even give Madara problems. Starkiller also has bested Vader before and briefly went toe-to-toe with Sidious in power. I feel like Starkiller has plenty to bring to the table to make this interesting, as well as Force Repulse. He would beat down Madara, and I think actually potentially beat him. Now, we got Madara's run out the way. How does Vader do in the battles? First, let's talk about the breezes for Lord Vader. First, we have the Shinobi Alliance. Similar to how Madara ran through that alliance, no problem, beat the shit out of them, styled on them in one of the most iconic anime scenes ever. This would be no different for Vader. I don't see Vader having any trouble in that exact same position. I see him in just as crazy of a fashion running through the Shinobi Alliance and making them pay for pulling up on the Dark Lord. Next, and this might shock some people, but let me explain, 8 Gates Might Guy. While he's powerful, pressed Madara, even impressed Madara, right? He was like, oh shit, 8 Gates is raw. He's a bad, like, stylistically, it's bad for him versus Vader. Vader, while watching Might Guy power up like this once he hits 8's gate, he can just pick him up with the Force and hold him there. And let the gates run out, and then Might Guy just dies. Like, that would be rough. Might Guy, I don't really see himself punching his way through Darth Vader's, all of his Force attacks and hacks, as well as you could argue stuff like his Fear Aura and hacks of that nature would take down Might Guy and his Taijutsu. Next, we have the 5 Kage. While the 5 Kage are dope, like the Raikage, Gaara, Tsunade, all of that, a lot of them have to get up close, in which they get melted by Darth Vader. And then the ones with range, like Gaara, he still gets taken out and manhandled with the Force. I actually seeing this being a great display of especially Legend Vader's power as he takes down the Kage. And then finally, for the breezes, we have Tailed Beasts. Now, the Tailed Beast would be fun, however, Anakin/Vader is a monster with beast manipulation and taming, mind hacking, presence hacks, aura hacks. I think he does them like we've seen Uchiha does them. Just overwhelms their will and aura and makes them bend to him. We might see a Vader run around the Naruto verse with Tailed Beasts. Let me know in the comment section down below if you want me to start a series with narrative swaps where we actually insert them in the stories instead of the other character. We'll just call it like Jobbers and Goons is the meta breaking god that reaches in and swaps out 2 characters in their universes. How do they work there and function on a narrative level? Let me know if you want to see that with someone like a Darth Vader operating in the Naruto verse. But getting back to this, Tailed Beasts get cooked, in my opinion, due to the hacks of Vader. Next, we move on to battles and potential losses. First, we have Hashirama. Now, Hashirama has a pretty crazy wood style, great regeneration, pretty good stamina, can fight all day and night, of course, and took place in the Uchiha Senju War. His versatility, different hacks in both regular jutsu, even has his own form of genjutsu, and when he summons things like the massive statue, he makes it really interesting for Vader. I have it at mid. I think Vader can take him down and stab him or cut his head off, but it's going to take a while, and Hashirama has the arsenal to make it tough. Next, we have War Arc Naruto. Naruto, at this point, stupidly powerful, can power up the Shinobi Alliance and amp all of them, as well as amp himself. He's able to help fight against the likes of Madara and all of the different things he brings to the table. Naruto has a pretty cool arsenal with his clones, the different variations, the Rasengan. Tough fight. Vader's going to catch him, though, use the Force to discern which one's the real Naruto. Naruto eventually gets taken down mid to high diff, although his arsenal, clones, and raw power makes it a tricky one, potentially, for Vader. Next, we're going to get to the last before we get to potential losses, which is War Arc Sasuke. I don't really see Genjutsu having much of an effect on Vader, given the Force and how he can directly negate manipulation of his mind and everything going on in his brain. He could actively do that with the Force. I feel like he could resist or just outright neg anything from Sasuke in that area. However, Sasuke's other jutsus are quite formidable. He has enough to keep Vader on his toes, but I still see Vader winning that one and taking down Sasuke mid to high difficulty. Now, next we have Edo Minato. Now, this is weird, right? In the next 3 ones, you can really debate if Vader loses. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, against Edo Minato, he is using some of Kurama's chakra, as well as his own shit, which he could already box up Kurama with his own power, so he's stupidly amped at this point. Extremely fast, uses the Flying Rajin, also has Sage Mode, he has incredible sealing. Edo Minato's an absolute beast. Now, if you can argue Vader would beat him on the initial counter but can't seal him, just beat him, I guess. But the problem is he doesn't really have a sealing method to put away the Edo. I'm not quite sure if Vader would be able to put him away. I guess you could argue he picks him up with the Force after wearing him out and can just like throw him into orbit or something. I don't know. But it seems like some of these characters could like get out of there with that. But again, the Edo makes it tricky. I want you to let me know in the comment section down below how you think Vader gets around Edo. The next Edo that'd be a problem is Tobirama. Tobirama being a character with his own version of flying Rajin, specialist in things like water jutsu. He has the arsenal, power, and technical brilliance to be problematic, as well as he's an Edo. So again, Vader might really struggle to take down the Edos, but if you want to argue he can take them down, outwear them or whatever, you don't think they'll last that long, we'll talk about which ones are harder for him out of these Edos. And finally, of the Edos is Hashirama. Hashirama is just as powerful, but should have a better gas tank than the original Hashirama, as well as access to all his other jutsus. Again, he makes it just as hard as he would when he was alive, except now he has the Edo factor of healing and coming back and really needing to be sealed in most cases. So, if he could find a way around it, I would see the easiest of the Edos being Tobirama, then Hashirama, and then probably Minato with his sealing and the usage of Kurama Chakra and Sage Mode and such, and Flying Raji. Now, that we got both sides out of the way, who did better in the swaps? So, unless you argue Vader does take down all the Edos, just stops Edos anyways, you could argue Vader does better, right? But stylistically, it appears Madara actually had a little better success. His versatility allowed him some more breezes matchups. And overall, I would say this probably favored him in a strictly battle scenario. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think of the series and who we need to see next. Hit me up on Discord. Talk business. I would love to do more purchase content. Obviously helps the channel. And I will be setting up better memberships / reestablishing memberships as they have to be updated through YouTube. So excited to bring that back to the table. I'll try to do that today or tomorrow. But yeah, keep a lookout for that. And thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy Jobbers and Goon. I'll see y'all later. Peace.